Good night, and welcome down to Weather Down in Muletown. As always, this is your captain speaking. Got a lot to get to, and as you can tell, I am in, I can't even call it rare form, because it's pretty usual form for me, but in somewhat of a form, so let's get right into it! Pretty quiet right now, as you see, across the Middle Tennessee area, but there is some moisture out there trying to do some moistury things, so some snow flurries between now and then may not be completely ruled out. Same thing kind of goes over the next couple days after all this, too, but, you know, shouldn't be anything other than just some flurries, and we'll swap over to our precipitation type mode, and you can kind of see that right there. Go ahead and talk about that while we're here, so just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. We got our scale of our precip on the left there, shows rain there by the different reflectivity and decibels, and then like sleet, well, excuse me, freezing rain, sleet, and this is going to be mix, and this is going to be snow and really heavy snow, so not to be confused kind of with these up here, because that's getting kind of close, because we may get some pretty heavy snow, folks, so we will get to that all in good due time, though, of course. Let's take it to our current conditions live from Sunnyside. It is currently 26.7, call it 27 degrees, dew point 18 degrees, wind chill 27 right now, because luckily the wind is pretty calm if there is a bright side to all of that cold. No measurable precip today, and as you see, fairly humid right now, actually, for as cold as it is, so there is that. Tonight looks like we got a low of about 25, so we're almost there. Maybe some snow showers, mostly after 5. Got that scrolling there across the bottom here in just a second. I really need to add that back into these two, by the way. But anyway, the high for tomorrow looks just above freezing, so some places may not get quite too freezing. You know, some of the outlying areas, rural areas, things like that, may not quite make it to freezing, but about freezing, and then obviously going to be some pretty good snow going down. So we'll get into the pertinence here, of course. Got all of the latest slides from the National Weather Service office in Nashville. Looking at about, we're right on the line, of course, as usual, like we always seem to be. 6 to 8 inches, 5 to 7 inches, something like that. Of course, there are absolutely no certainties in meteorological terms, but it seems as if about 3 to 5 inches is as close as one can get to being about a certainty, according to all the models, if it all plays out like they say it will. Of course, I guess that was 3 caveats technically there, which completely erases all the certainty, but still, that's as close as I can get. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. So, could be some 8s in there, 7s, and from what I understand, there may be even some isolated pockets of 9s. Like I said, it all just depends. Like we were talking about the other day, I'll throw some of those slides back up here again about how it lays, what kind of snow it is, how fluffy it is, the water content, and there can just be kind of big bands and swaths. So where one neighborhood may get, you know, like a couple of more inches, or you know, at least a decent chunk change there, better than another. So details, though, pretty much what you need to catch from this. Obviously going to be pretty major travel impacts. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. Chances of 6 inches plus there. We'll kind of just skip right to the chase, about 50-50 in that red circled area. Again, right on the edge of it. But even areas to our south, so if you're listening to me there from Lawrence County, Giles County, Marshall County, wherever there to the south, you still got at least about a good 1 in 3 or so. Other than that, morning looks a little bit better. Heavier snow going to be coming in during the late morning and through the afternoon, pretty much the whole way through. I got some model guidance pulled up for you there here in a second, show you kind of some of those rates, because some of them do look to be fairly heavy, especially during some crucial times like noon and kind of afternoon going home commute times if you are going into work. And if we do see any of that icy stuff. That looks to be when we may see it, is on the very front end and on the very back end. But again, like I said, we'll talk about that in just a second. The travel impacts are expected. TEMA, as we discussed earlier on the page, the Tennessee Emergency Management Association has declared what's basically like a mid-level emergency for this. Obviously, snow is a big deal here down in the South. We don't care what you think. It just is what it is. They don't have the infrastructure in place, and our snow is different, as you'll soon notice, our new recent folks. We usually get some mix of ice or sleet or some other kind of wintry frozen precip in there with ours, folks. And driving on that stuff once it packs and then snows or glazes on top of it or all of the above is like driving on glass, and it stinks. I've had to do it in just about any condition imaginable, and I will never like it. So, anyway, timeline. That's usually the other biggest question that we get about all of this. So, at least daybreak, mid-morning. Some of the models may have it coming in a little bit before daybreak. Roads begin to come slippery, snow covered, and that's again going to be around probably not far into mid-morning, I would imagine. Maybe probably not past like 9 a.m. or so. I know a lot of folks got to have that 7 to 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. like transit to work time, and that's looking like that's going to be right as things are getting started rolling, folks. So definitely use your best judgment there. Can't tell you what to do. Again, I'm not the one you want to ask for those such things. I chase tornadoes, get shot at for a living, and yeah, I'm not a good one to ask. You don't want my advice. So, during the evening, between pretty much the rest of the morning, afternoon, noontime, into the evening, like almost dark hours, pretty moderate snow, heaviest snow will be during that time, and they expect again major travel issues. Friday evening, it should taper off probably after dark hours or right around there, maybe as late as about 9 p.m. in some cases, just depending again on where you're listening to me from. But it should generally be about clear of, like, say, a line north and south, I-65 by 9 p.m. or there on about ish. So again, it seems like the newer versions of the HD shorter range models like HRRR NAM, RAP, and some of those have been playing around with the timeline a little bit, but it seems like it's still fairly steady-ish for the most part. I think we've got the... Here, we'll do the model real quick. So I know that's what a lot of folks want. So this is going to be the timing roughly. So starting there at 8 p.m., going through, starting to see that green coming in the rain. Pink is going to be that sleet mix, and then it kind of transitions over. South of us, west of us, looking like hopefully, but obviously darker blues there, those heavier rates, and then again that mix trying to creep up from the south, possibly in some heavy snow. I don't know exactly what that's chewing on there. That looks like it could be very heavy snow instead of the mix. So that's what the model's thinking anyway, it looks. So again, pretty heavy rates throughout the day, especially after the mid-morning hours, and say maybe 0900, 10 o'clock. It's going to be snowing, and it looks like it's going to be that good snowman, like $50 chonky flakes. So visibility could be a thing. It's going to pile up. Windshield wipers might be frozen, so remember, kind of, you know, don't pour hot water on your windshield for the love of anything, God holy, but get your windshield on the defrogger nice and warm. Go in there and like kind of massage your wipers up and down. Leave them up, obviously, but just make sure they've actually got some pliability and can actually get all of that off so it doesn't leave streaks, because those things are going to want to stick. And visibility, again, like I said, maybe a thing. And be nice to each other on the roadways as well as the comment section. Got some stuff here from the NWS briefing. Looks like areas along and north of that line that we had a second ago, let me pull that back up, are going to be the heaviest. So again, we're right there at it. Tennessee Alabama line is probably going to see about the same snow totals, it looks like, but may likely again see that mix with some sleet, freezing rain, grapple ice pellets, things like that. According to the NWS, it is going to be a bad day to be out and about tomorrow, so it is not advisable. This is a direct quote from one of their meteorologists. Areas of southwest of Nashville, again, talked about it coming through kind of from the southwest. Can expect first snow, and it should be moving through the rest of Middle Tennessee between about 8 and 10. And then everybody else, if you're listening to me from there far away or far flung places, the plateau should be seeing it again too by about 6 to 10 at the latest. So, heaviest stuff in the early morning, ending after sunset. That is a pretty decent gap from what the NWS gave us. So there could be some wiggle room again in there from some of those heavier totals if this thing slows down a little bit. It doesn't take much for that to really pile up. If it speeds up, it also doesn't take much for it to kind of snatch the rug out from under you either, so to say. So travel impacts, and a lot of folks have asked about like bus routes and stuff like that. That's all going to be up to the county, but obviously they have to take into consideration like the back roads, a lot of hillier, shady spots, valleys, up around Santa Fe, northern part of the county, and again some more to the south as well too. But they got to take all that into consideration. Usually they get guidance from folks on the ground, like the sheriff's office, EMS, just the people that are coming and going and doing Murray Rural Fire, 911 there as well too. If they have a plan that they do, and it's all in place, and they monitor the conditions and go and check it out. But there could be, according to the NWS, some decent travel impacts even into next week, say Monday or so, because although we're going to get just above freezing on both Saturday and Sunday, with Sunday and Monday being our best days for the melt, because we're going to get, I think, right at 50 at the last look on Monday. The problem is all of that melt is going to be refreezing every night because the lows are going to be pretty cold in the 20s, and I think we're actually going to get some teens in there as well. So I have to look and see what the models are saying about the wind. I don't think it was too crazy. But it's going to get, I think, like just about in the teens for a low on Monday, maybe. It was on down there, so it's definitely going to be pretty chilly. So obviously the same thing goes with your 4 Ps there: plants, pets, pipes, and your peeps. So make sure you're tending to all of those. Got some of those tips for you later on as well. I think as far as all that goes, again, there's no meteorological certainty, but it's a good looking like that we're going to get about a good 4 to 5 inches, I would say. 7, 8 is not off the table. And I think in the Weather Service sit rep from either earlier today or maybe 13:30. Yeah, so I think I posted all of this. We can jump over to screen share. Yeah, bang. So, beginning 3 a.m., 6 a.m. Okay, we already went over all that, but 47 inches be common in most places in Middle Tennessee, with localized 8 to 9 inch amounts as well. Hopefully, little to no freezing rain, but it's not completely out of the question. Again, maybe a glaze like right at the beginning or right at the end, but hopefully it's nothing overly major or anything like that. So y'all saw it though. We can run through that again just for giggles if you're just joining us. Hello, welcome. Remember to like and share. It just helps us out with the algorithm and helps more people see our stuff. There we go. So again, starting about 8-9 p.m. tonight, rolling through. See green for the rain there, pink for the mix, heavy snow. Again, scales are at the bottom. Heavy snow starting between about 5 to 6 a.m. or so in Columbia area. Accumulation's probably not that long after, because again, these are some pretty heavy rates with the snow rolling through there, especially around 1 p.m. through 4 or 5 p.m. Maybe just a touch of mixed freezing rain there right there on the end, and then sliding on out. So that Gulf moisture trying to prevail a little bit, although we've got another storm system up to our north, which has kind of helped keeping a lid on things, basically. So if nothing else, think of this as a guardrail, again, because so far with this, forecast confidence has been extremely high, according to NWS. According to the models, have been seeing with my own eyeballs, the trends, how things have been going down, how things have kind of just been steadily stair-stepping. This one's looking like a pretty sure bet, folks. So, again, got it scrolling on the screen. Winter storm warning remains in effect. That's funny wording because it's not just yet, but from 3 a.m. So here in just about several hours to 6 a.m. Saturday. So about 30 hours, this whole window, just be weather aware. If you have to travel, I know the Office of Emergency Management earlier was recommending that you didn't unless it was an emergency, and then you do so carefully just if you must. But again, obviously that's just a recommendation. That's not an order. TEMA did declare that level 3 state of emergency. All that does basically is just put the State Emergency Operations Center on extra alert. It calls in more people. It gives them some more money to do things if in the budget. It enacts some protections and stuff like that against all kinds of stuff. It waives some of the commerce laws, trucking, fuel stuff, like all kinds of like national security, like state stuff, basically. So gives them more resources. They can call the people in and do the things. And again, it's all just triggered by law. And you can look it up if you're that bored. So I think that's everything from the advisory text itself. So again, that's the main story, folks. That's the gist of it. I think, again, about that 3 to 5 is looking like it's a pretty solid bet. Most of the models now are starting to come off in the high 80s, 90s on the +4 inches for our area and for a wide swath of it. So there's that extra wiggle room kind of around the bullseye area. So it's definitely looking like this one's looking pretty good. And again, as promised, we're within, that 48-hour window where we get the good models coming into view. So, other than that, again, if you have any questions, throw them in the comments. Trying to get to them. Appreciate that big money. I hear y'all. I'm gonna get to y'all in just a second. I promise. But yeah, just lots to cover. I want to throw that out there and get the prognostication out there. So you got it. There it is. And I'm sticking to it. And again, y'all, I got to get better at the whole like graphics thing and like designing the maps and making them all pretty and putting our logos on them and stuff like that, because I stink at that. I'm not creative at all. I couldn't do the technical side of all this and the worther, but yeah, man, all that other stuff is doing the graphics for the intro and like the stuff and all that was hard enough. And I had templates. So let's see. Let's get into some of that prep stuff and then we'll get into the nerdery. I think that's the majority of all the pertinence again. So if you got to check out. Peace. See y'all later again. Comments, throw them in there and we'll get to them. There is one more. I take that back. Just kidding. Lies. Stop. Winter storm severity index. This is what I meant to throw up there earlier. Weather Prediction Center, again, it's just another thing. If you're like the day one folks, you're probably familiar. If not, when we refer to like the Storm Prediction Center that strictly deals with severe weather, this is like the every other prediction center. They do heavy rainfall, blizzards, all that crazy stuff, other than fire, pretty much, and space. But we're in the 6-inch easy right there on the 4 to 5 inch area, 6, 7. As far as the accumulations go, on the borderline with the ice, but every model that I saw, and I think it was only literally 1 or 2, were all saying less than 1/10 of an inch. So that is definitely good news there. And then obviously again, we're in the middle of that winter storm warning is illustrated by like that hot pink then around the purple. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much, but again, just it's all on the planet ahead part. That is the biggest thing for all of this. Just be ready. And that's also what we're here to help for as well. So let me grab a couple of those prep slides that we did the other day. And we'll talk about some of that. And then we can get into the nerdery of the models, where I think, so what I think's. One more. I keep finding stuff because I've got bunches of stuff here kind of pulled up. So Winter Storm Severity Index, this measures travel impacts, and again, just it's urban areas, it's people, it's not being able to drive, and just all of those things. And you see here the orange and the red, and I've got the key here pulled up. I meant to splice them together, and again, just didn't have time to, folks, because I was trying to hurry up and get it done. But here is the legend. So pretty much most everywhere, moderate impacts, disruptions to daily life, hazardous driving, use extra caution, closures and disruptions. But in the urban areas there, where most of all of us work, live, etc., considerable disruptions, dangerous or impossible driving conditions. Again, big hills. If we get a nice glaze under or over this stuff, it's going to be pretty gnarly. And even, again, if you got four-wheel drive, gentlemen, in your Yee trucks, I understand. It ain't the driving, it's the stopping. We all got four-wheel brakes, and it all don't matter. Leave plenty of room. Don't be a dodo. Don't do it. Don't be that guy. Widespread closures and disruptions to infrastructure and such may occur. Again, we don't anticipate the power outages and such. There may be some localized power outages, but it's not like a widespread thing with the ice that we were thinking. Something radically changes, that could change, but I don't think it's going to, just from looking out of the model guidance, from just listening to that NWS briefing just a moment ago, and just everything I've seen so far. I don't think the ice thing is going to come to much of anything at all. So there's that, and that's good news. So I think that was all of, the major stuff off the rip. So again, now I'll talk about some of the kind of the preppy stuff, what you can do. I know we're throwing a lot at you, and that's definitely understandable. I never mind breaking stuff down and talking about that stuff at length, because I know a lot of this can be confusing, convoluted. It's a lot of colors, it's a lot of acronyms, it's a lot of stuff. So I never mind breaking anything down. Where was that other slide? So I know we looked up the definitions of the winter storm the other day, but I don't. I've got so much stuff on here, y'all. Because Weather Service puts out a lot of stuff, and it's in our like go to school folders, and it is everywhere. I need to rename them, but they're all the like the OG file names, and it's just random. There's okay. All right, so there we go. So winter storm watch, winter storm warning, blah 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 blah. So winter weather advisory is kind of like the lower end of this scale. That was what was the other color pink that we saw surrounding like our big bubblegum graphic earlier. Potentially dangerous weather expected 12 to 36 hours or is occurring. What we have issued, winter storm warning. Warnings always, again, mean that it's happening now, it's observed, or it's about to be. See it on radar if it's a tornado, or it's observed physically with eyeballs. Same thing, 12 to 36 hours, which we are less than that now. And then considerable travel impacts are expected. Blizzard warning, don't think we'll get there because that will require like all of this, plus some wind and some other conditions and craziness like that. So don't think we will get there with this one, and that's definitely some good news. Again, we're past the watch point, but again, I just want to throw that out there because this stuff, as we mentioned earlier, can be confusing. Watches warnings, but it's real simple, folks. Like I said, we teach kindergartners this stuff. Watch literally means watch out. That kind of weather it's talking about, winter storm in this case, is possible, could be happening. And then warning literally means it is happening or is about to be. So whether it's a severe thunderstorm watch, tornado watch, winter storm, blizzard, whichever, that is how you can remember that. Winter storm planning timeline. So right now we're there in that middle one. You should already have your supplies for your home and your car. At least I hope you're not listening to me right now on your AirPods at Walmart. If you are, let us know what the bread looks like and send us some pics. Should have checked your carbon monoxide and smoke detectors, especially if you're using Jennies and alternate fuel sources and stuff. Just went out and checked mine and cranked it, let it run for a while, topped it off with the fuel source and got some gas for my vehicle on the way home. So should have done all that already the day before. Forecast accuracy is continuing to improve, so keep checking the latest. Hello. That's what we're here for. Adjust your plans. Make sure that you got everything covered for the kiddos or whatever you have to do tomorrow. If you have to go to work, definitely be careful. Definitely take your time. Plan out your route. Check the traffic on like the local news and like the T-Dot cameras and stuff if you have to get on the interstate. Waze app. There's all kinds of stuff like that. And I'm sure pages on here that do traffic, that's just more of a headache than I can deal with. I hate traffic enough as it is. So have multiple ways to receive warnings. I don't anticipate anything getting any more warning-y than it is now, but there could be some special products that are issued if just something major changes. But again, don't anticipate that. And then obviously those pets, pipes, plants, and check on your people. And then Friday and Saturday going to be probably the only kind of sketchy parts there. The sketchiness should decline rapidly as the sun comes up on Saturday. But definitely remain vigilant, stay informed, drive only if necessary. Check on your peeps. If you are having a power loss, make sure you're being careful there. We're going to kind of talk about some of that stuff here in just a second on things you can do to keep warm. Make sure you got your generators 20 feet away from your home and practice the generator safety, ground and everything, surge protectors, all that fun stuff. And then when you're playing or when you're shoveling, take it easy. Take some breaks, go inside, warm up, and then kick back for a while, enjoy some hot beverage, and then go play again after you warm up. So all that fun stuff. Don't want to be your mom, but frostbite is screwed up, y'all. Just turn off the safety features and Google it, and yeah. Just saying. Do what you want, y'all big and stuff. I mean, if you're not, do what mom and dad says, but it's pretty gnarly. All right, we talk about power outages. Be careful with heat sources, obviously. Candles and stuff, space heaters, all of that stuff. Make sure you're being space conscious with all of that. You can always bundle up, obviously, throw some extra blankets on, some hoodies, 4 pairs of socks, whatever you want to do there. And you can line up any like leaky windows or doors or whatever else with some blankets, towels, whatever. Again, keep those generators safe and try not to refuel a hot generator, anything like that. Just be smart. And then check on your neighbors and everything as well too, especially if you got older folks, sick folks, anything like that, home medical folks, on oxygen or dialysis or anything like that. Make sure they got everything they need and they're doing good. So pets, again, I know everybody's has a soft spot here for the most part for the fuzzy things. I'm right there with you. Make sure you take care of them, but don't be like just calling the cops on your neighbor because your buddy's outside playing with his dog either. Just some dogs are built for this, folks. They love it. My shepherds, one of them likes it, one of them doesn't. My guy has to be drugged back inside, and the female doesn't like getting her feet wet. So Little Beagle wants nothing to do with it. So there's definitely that happy medium, but yeah, make sure they're inside. Take breaks too. Go ahead and towel dry their feet off, because those pads can really be susceptible to that frostbite and stuff. Even though they want to play and play and play and play, it can get them, because there's, again, pups aren't used to it either around here, folks. So I know the huskies and all will be soaking it up, and those just snow dogs will be loving it. But definitely keep an eye. Make sure the water's unfrozen too, all that stuff. Winterized stuff, inspect your chimney. I'm really bad about this. I keep saying I need to get a chimney sweep done. If you are a chimney sweep, you know a chimney sweep, throw that in the comments. I'll shout you out, free advertising, whatever. I'll pay you too. Don't get me wrong, I ain't trying to get nothing for free, but I need to do it. And I keep saying I'm going to, and just don't. Make sure, just most of this is routine maintenance stuff. Make sure you insulate your pipes, though. That's a biggie. You can literally go grab a styrofoam cup. Saw an experiment the other day on Reddit. You can literally get like a big gulp cup with a hair tie and make that same thing that they sell for a couple dollars. Or you can go see our good buddies at Ace Hardware. They have them as well, I believe. They said they got some stuff in today. So, and then those smoke detectors and fire alarms. Every time you change your batteries is a good rule of thumb. But yeah, most of that's just general maintenance stuff. We talked earlier about black ice. So in the morning times, pretty much every day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, probably, black ice is going to be an issue just from the melting. The melting is going to be a good thing. Anytime there's sun, even if it's below freezing, there's going to be some melts. But at night, we're going to be in the low 20s or less, and all of that's going to freeze, and it's going to look wet. But again, as everybody that's been driving a long time knows, it's not. But if you're a new driver, definitely watch out for this stuff. It will give you a number 9 pucker factor. No cap. From the cap. It is not good. Not good. I made that mistake when I was, about 17, 16, 18, something like that. And yeah, it's, nope. Bridges, especially there. So water bridges freeze first because there's no ground under there. So nothing to insulate it. That cold air is rushing under there. That thing will freeze quick. And it doesn't always have to be all at once either. Sometimes the underneath and the structures and the sides that insulate it, and just maybe the middle is, or just certain sections. But definitely check it out. Same way, if you can kind of see like it's got that shiny kind of crystally look to it as you come up to it, or it looks wet, go on and slow down. Double if it's in a curve. I've seen more wipe out like side slap into guardrails and concrete K-rails and stuff on the interstate and on the bypass that I can count, and bridges and curves, because it was frozen. Because when you're moving at an angle, that vehicle is going to keep going straight. I promise you, every time, folks. Newton and Murphy will win. Freezing rain, it's the worst. It literally is. Nobody likes it. It's not good. It's not pretty. It looks like, if we're being honest, just like somebody spilled a gigantic like tub of rubber cement or snot on everything, and it's gross. It's more dangerous than anything else. Can form on anything, can cause falling branches and power lines, or both. And again, if it is mixing in any of that, definitely be careful about like it accumulating on the vehicle, on power lines, houses, all that fun stuff. What is freezing rain, you say? We always talk about the melting layer. Here's talking about a melting line and like a system as it approaches. This is how it works. So got layers of warm and cold air. That frozen precip falls through a warm layer and then falls back through a cold layer closer to the ground, and either freezes on contact or shortly thereafter, because the surfaces are cold, or the range, like 32 point, it's like almost 33 degrees, and it hasn't frozen yet, but will. So that is how freezing rain works. And sleet and grapple and all of those things are a little bit similar, but they form in kind of different ways. So obviously, kind of left to right there, snow falls all the way frozen, never melts. Sleet has a more shallow warm layer that it falls through, melts, and then has enough time to freeze all the way back through and fall down, kind of like hail. So sleet's larger. When it's fluffier and kind of looks like snow but kind of floats like styrofoam, that's what we call grauple. It's ice pellets, kind of with more air and less water. Looks fluffier than sleet, but is something different. It's Poppy's favorite. She just likes the word. And then obviously freezing rain falls through that deeper warm layer and then freezes on contact. And then rain, as the name implies, does not freeze and just does its thing all the way down. Heating your house, if your electricity goes out, many things you can do there. Obviously be careful with alternate heat sources and things. The government, I think, and most all of those consumer product safety agencies and all of that other stuff say do not use stoves and ovens and stuff like that. I mean, man, but between freezing to death, do what you gotta do. We ain't gonna get there, but it's one of them, hey, bets are off things. So close the blinds, unless like you get just super duper direct sun. That'll actually help out in that case. Close off your rooms, throw up a shower curtain, blanket, towels, whatever else. That way you can kind of create a central area, keep it warm. Throw on your layers, get you a hot cup of tea. And it says technically avoid caffeine and alcohol, but again, you have the captain's permission to get in the grog, folks. If you're snowed in and power's out and the heat's out and everything else, and you're trying to rub sticks together in the living room, knock stuff out. And then again, make sure you got those cracks, doors, and all of that other stuff insulated up pretty well as well. I think that's most of that stuff. Now there's one last one. It's getting into the nerdery again, so that's about when this part of the stuff's gonna start, folks. So if you're not into the nerdery, peace, love, and crabs, I think is what they say, Joe. Crab Shack. Really good place to eat, by the way. Snow ratio. This is one of the things we talked about the other day. You'll see on the models here is talk about the 10:1 or the Crucero ratio, and it's just basically an old rule of thumb that says for every 10 inches of snow would be 1 inch of water. So you can imagine 30 inches of snow during a 3-inch rainstorm in the summer, and just kind of let that sink in and blow your mind for a second, and like what it's like to live in Norway or something. So. But all of that depends. The legend, the man, the myth, Bobby Boyd, that we referred to the other day on the page, was actually saying on X the other day that Nashville area, Middle Tennessee, greater, is actually at more of like an 11:1 ratio, actually. So we're a little bit behind the curve there, because we normally get kind of a lot of heavier, those pretty snowflakes, but it's a lot of water content. It's never kind of that dry powdery stuff, or ice. So and then again, that kind of just, it all factors in how it lays. You can get swaths through neighborhoods, just like a ribbon of a whole lot of accumulation surrounded by not as much. It's funny like that. Ours usually doesn't drift and blow like up north or in like blizzards and stuff, because it is so wet. But definitely, we usually don't tend to get the deep cold. We usually end up with kind of moderately cold, and then Gulf moisture is the only moisture we have because our cold is dry. And then that's how we end up with the ice. So it's geographical, it's luck, snow dome, whatever you want to call it. But there are a lot of things that go into that. So again, if you're just joining us, welcome. Down to Weather Down in Milltown. I am Yo Captain, and we will be seeing a lot of each other, or at least y'all be seeing a lot of me if you tune in, because we'll be doing a lot of things, and being on, not necessarily on the air. I may have something going as far as like the radar being up, or making some updates 24/7, but somebody will be here on the page. And we'll be doing lots of coverage with this. We'll be needing to hear from y'all a lot. Y'all actually help us out tremendously, because the radar only tells us so much, because the radar goes out in a big cone like that in Nashville, and by the time it gets here, it's already looking at about like 4,500 feet light in the air, and we don't know exactly what's between the 0 and the 45. So that's where you come in. Let us know what you're seeing. Pics is great. Let us know where you are. You don't have to give us your address, but kind of like give us cross streets or a neighborhood or a landmark or something. And let us know what you're seeing. The one kind of weather that we can kind of celebrate that a little bit. Obviously, we don't want you going out taking pictures of tornadoes. If you happen to see one on the way home as you're running and screaming, obviously, hey, take a pic of it. But with this one, we can kind of celebrate that. If you do measure snow, you want to measure it on a like a level surface. You don't want to get it off your car like a trash can, because those can kind of be different than the ground temperature, and that may be unique to your house or whatever versus what the ground temperature is 100 yards away. But get it on a nice level surface. If you got a ruler with tenths of an inch, that is always great. Snap a pic and let us know. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Just realized that. Sorry about that, folks. Mute button got stuck. Sorry about that. So, what I was saying was the for the folks that missed the rest, looking about 3 to 5 inches to be pretty much given at this point for most all of the Middle Tennessee area. The rest of us could also probably expect some ups to 6, 7 inches as well, and the 8s, 9s aren't out of the question either. But it's definitely looking more than probably that it'll be in excess of 4, I would say, for sure. So that's why we're kind of going with that 3 to 5 as the given, and then obviously the travel impacts and all that stuff that come with it. So sorry about the mute. Didn't wait for it to change colors, and that's my fault. Still trying to make sure my eyes didn't pop out of my head from that cough. So let's get into the nerdiness. Again, not sure stuff. See y'all. Let me get in the comments real quick and get to some of those. I know Boppy and Miss C's been in the comments, and they're rolling in so quick. Wow. Okay, let me. Oh, I see Boppy just now on deck. Let me grab my iPad, y'all. Sorry, because yeah, it's not giving me only, but just like a very, very few of the comments, and I see there are way more, and plenty of y'all telling me about the no audio. Sorry, y'all. It's, like I said, they roll in so quick, I can't hardly see them. They need to do it like, used to be able to pop it out. Can I still pop it out and make it bigger? It's only showing me certain ones of the comments, and I don't know why. That's so odd. Yeah, I'm gonna have to swap over, y'all. One sec. But yeah, we're gonna get into the nerdiness part. So we're gonna go through some of the models. I think there is a decent chance. I dare say, I dare say a substantial chance that there's going to be that upwards of that 3 to 5 pretty easily. Um, I think it's pretty likely. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Oh man, Facebook. Because it didn't used to do this. Not gonna like roll through all the comments all at once, and it will not let me, y'all. I'm trying, I promise. Because that like kind of messes with the whole purpose of being able to talk in the comments. There's some things I can do to like put them up on the screen, and I may have to do that and actually incorporate them into the broadcast. That way I can at least see them. Yeah, because, I mean, even on... What? Sorry, y'all. Bear with me. Like, so I'm trying to get to y'all's questions and stuff, because I know there's always questions, and I can see 95 comments on here, but 102 comments. Here we go. Thank you. Okay. Business Suite and all of its stinkiness still works. Perfect. Okay, yeah, sound is back on. That was my bad, y'all. Sorry, mute button got stuck or didn't react, or I didn't press it good enough. Yeah, hope y'all having a good night too. Let me scroll all the way back here. It's give me the newest. So 1 second, y'all. 1 second. 1 second. Appreciate all that big money. I'm seeing those as I'm scrolling by. Love it, y'all. And man, Frodo, great dude. Friend of Middle Tennessee and local businesses and stuff. Had a long conversation with him and his buddy Jim. Totally put me on the spot there for y'all that saw that. And again, man, we appreciate that, man. If y'all send us $1, if y'all send us a nickel, whatever, we appreciate that. It's never necessary. Nothing that, you know, one of our buddies and a great friend of the page did us a favor a while back. And you know that actually benefited us. Everything else, you know, that we've done as far as fundraisers have gone to the radios. That's what we're here for. We're not but you know, that man, just blessings like that is amazing. And Frodo's a great dude, and like I said, I'm just a guy with a series of weird hobbies. So that's what this started out with. So hi, Miss Sheila, how are you? I hope you are doing great. Violet says each news channel saying different amounts. Yeah, that's about right. They're more worried about ratings. The main difference between me and them is I'm not. Love all y'all, but I mean, I don't care if you watch or not. Again, you know, it's just my hobby. This is an easier way to do it than 7-11 people calling me or texting me, and kind of why I started doing it. And then it's grown into this. And I just could not be more just blown away and happy to just do my little part. Just cup runneth over just to do it, bros and fams and ladies and gents and everybody. Kim Otterson, appreciate that. Big money. Cindy Hanky, hope I said that right. Appreciate that. Big money as well. Shelby Pilberkaski, big money. Appreciate that. Ooh, twice. 2 big monies. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been told to have a distinctive voice. I've met people like heard me speaking from behind, like in Kroger or something. I haven't seen in 20 years. They're like, Adam. And like, how did you know? It's the voice. Thank you, Miss M. Appreciate you and your long support as well too. Leslie says, girl, gotta work in the morning. I feel you. I was prepared to being all essential and stuff, or so my employer says when they really, really need me. But luckily, I don't have to work the street anymore, and I can't tell you how glad my family and my old back that is. And when they canceled the state offices, I got lucky. So thinking about all them folks out there though on the rigs and at the stations and at the EMS and at the police departments and the fire halls, thinking about y'all and the wreckers and the T-dots and the plows, thinking about all y'all folks. I'm gonna be doing it from the warm, but I'm gonna be doing it from right here in the WDiMT studio, serving the people of Marion County and surrounding area. No thunder snow, says Larry Johns. Man, I hope so. I've got a small list of bucket list things that I want to see left that I haven't seen, and thunder snow is one of them. We'll talk about that one day. I'm thinking about doing a spinoff show. We talked about that a little while back because I want to do a little bit more news, but that's not exactly what this is for. But we may talk about that one day. My weather bucket list. Miss Tammy, appreciate you and that big money. We appreciate you for following us for so long. Appreciate you too, Dana. Big money. Cynthia, ZZ, appreciate that. Big money. Sally, big money. Appreciate it. Brianna says, okay, cool. Thank you. And we thank you, Brianna. We do. Yep. I had to stop and get gas on the way home as well. And again, ran my Jenny, made sure it's ready and fired up to go. So definitely check out all of those things if you have to. Jen, great question. Jen says, have I missed it? Will travel be safe Saturday? Any ice worries? We've been talking about it a little bit here and there, off and on, and I've been trying to give as consistent of an answer as I can. And it looks like Boppy got most of it, but yeah, there will more than likely be some travel hazards every morning. I would say probably until Monday, including Monday or so. I guess until technically Tuesday morning, but whatever. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, there will probably be some travel impacts because it's going to get just above enough freezing to actually melt some snow, which is a good thing. But then it's all going to refreeze, and there may be some black ice or portions of slick spots and things, especially in the morning, especially in shady areas. So if you live in a rural area, definitely keep an eye on that, especially. Skip and Jen, Spencer, you are very welcome. Ashley says plenty of stuff left at Walmart about 18:30. That's 6:30 p.m. for your civvies. Kroger National Highway though, out of push water, or known as gas, for the car, petroleum. Shannon and the monkeys are ready to watch the snowfall. That sounds like a good documentary. And yeah, Mrs. Cat wants a monkey and I won't let her have one. I'm afraid it's gonna eat my face off. I'm gonna sleep or something. Carrie Hayden, thank you for your Hayden, excuse me, sorry. Thank you for your very, very kind words. We're just here to educate and arm you all with the decisions to make, arm you all with the knowledge and the what to do's to make good decisions to save your own lives. So I refuse to take credit for anything. It is a team effort. But we thank you for your kind words, especially. Y'all definitely know how to get a guy in the fields. Definitely. And apparently the rest of Middle Tennessee, too, because yeah, we came in the the finals for that again, man, and I'm floored. Floored just from a hobby. And from looking at a garage window about 50 yards behind me right now and watching a tornado and some sheet metal fly through the air. That's why I'm here. That's why we're talking. Brianna, great question too. Want to know the odds of power outages in Santa Fe? I wouldn't say any one area is more likely than the other, unless you're talking about like going further south towards the Alabama line. That's going to be, I think, mainly where the ice accumulations are going to be. Other than that, with the ice specifically, I don't think we're going to see any widespread power outages. There may be some here and there, old infrastructure, or maybe a pole's been soaking up too much water and it cracks, something crazy or whatever. This crazy cold cracked my windshield the other day, just out of the blue. So that was random, but don't expect anything widespread. No, there may be some here and there, but it's mainly going to be dependent on the ice. I don't think it's going to be a problem just with the snow. We're more likely, I'd say, to have an issue from some dodo driving too fast and hitting a pole or something and causing power outages that way. So, great question. And I think that goes for Santa Fe, Columbia, Spring Hill, and all of those places. So yeah, not mentioned by the NWS and not by anything I've seen. Again, that's just, for what it's worth. Kelly asks, has it reached Tennessee yet? No, it is not. We can actually go ahead and look at it at just a second, though. That is a great question. Hey, cuz, it's Susie. Hey. Gonna be good sledding snow. Yes, it should. It actually will probably pack pretty good because it's gonna be wet and it'll get a kind of that nice slickery bobsled track layer to it, and it'll be great snowball weather too, or snowball weather, snowball snow too. It may not be snowball weather because it's gonna be cold, but all right, cool. I think I've got. Beige looking line on the left screen is actually where I've actually bumped my camera. Sorry. Tim, I've got the camera control pulled up somewhere, but yeah, that's actually it not doing its job and keeping everything centered on the green screen, which behind me is a green screen, which is why my headset also looks like it's part of the map, because it's actually like lime green. It's a gaming headset that I just threw over here because it's got really good sound quality. Radar, I'm using Gibson Ridge Analyst 2 with some custom graphics and the logos and all that stuff added in, but the base program is by Gibson Ridge. They've got a couple of different levels just depending on how into it you are and how 3's pretty straight up, but 2, like, to get the full, like 500 horses out of it or whatever, it takes some getting used to and knowing what the stuff does and kind of how to operate it and use it to its fullest potential. Great question. Get that all the time. And usually you'll see me when I post stuff from my phone, I'm using a radar scope with a pro subscription. Tier 2. Great question. Get that all the time. And none of them sponsor us, so you should. Again, Gibson Ridge, if you're watching, because I bought your product twice now since you expired my first license. And Radar Scope, great folks. Can't say a bad word about them. Just great folks at Radar Scope. Had it like since it came out.
These look beige on TV, just so you know. He wants to know what those are.
Oh, I thought you were talking about at the edge of the camera. My bad. The beige lines over on the map. Yeah, hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to reload the chat right now, and then we're gonna start talking about the nerdery from a hardcore nerdery folks that are waiting on me and impatient. Yeah, beige lines over on the map. Actually, hold on. Let me get, because I've got 11 things on top of the radar over here. Beige lines on the map over here are, I think, canals or irrigation. Yeah, I've got a couple of different like GIS files overlaid onto this to do a couple different things, and I think that's a duplication of like some canals that run through here, or a gross overestimation of them. But yeah, that's what it looks like. There are actually some canals in Missouri. So, which this is all, I think this is from one of the U.S. government satellite programs, but we got Columbia labeled down to the street for y'all too as well, new folks. So plus is me. So whenever you hear me say at, Sunnyside or over here, blah, 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 I am talking to you from Southwest Sunnyside in Southwest Columbia. All right. I think that I'll throw this up here again just a second. If you're just catching us, welcome, welcome. This is the meat and potatoes of everything. About a 85 to 99% chance of a good 2-inch plus snow. Pretty sure of the 4+, and then again 6+ is anywhere from about 50-50 to almost in that red circled area, and everywhere else, a decent 1 in 3. So. That's the main part of that. Expecting main travel impacts. Not expecting any power outages. Probably starting before dawn, if not right at, and then accumulations not long after, because it's going to be some pretty heavy rates. We'll roll the HRRR loop here for you starting tonight about 8 p.m. now, so about an hour and a half ago. Have we been on that long? Ooh, almost. And then you see here about 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., you see that precip starting time stamps up there on the top left. The darker the blue, the heavier the snow. And then again, you see that really heavy ribbon coming through right there, right around noon, 2, 3 p.m. through about 4 or 5 o'clock. And then maybe some of that mix there on the very back end, and then tapering off about 9 o'clock or so. That's the main story right now. I'll let it roll one more time so you can see that. HRRR is one of my favorites. We'll go through some of the others, but this one is usually the one I share with y'all the most, and I use this one a lot. Let's make that replay real quick because it's taking too long. There we go. So coming through, there's midnight. Starting to come into view there, 4, 5, 6, and then heavier rates picking up there with those darker blues. Time, go to work, and then around lunch there, 11 a.m. through pretty much all afternoon there until about 5 p.m. Maybe a little mix between there and 7, and then tapering off between 7. Should be by 9 for sure. So what they're saying at the NWS. That's looking like what the models are agreeing with as well. So let's all right. So we'll hop into the models again. This is the part where it gets nerdy. So if that ain't you, I will see you. Throw it in the comment section. Peace. Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. All right. So there we go. All right. Let me make that a little bit bigger. There we go. I think that'll suffice. So get enough to get our scale on there. Not really. Y'all get the gist of it though. So, all right. Let's talk about models. HRRR. This is what we just looked at. 0 Zulu forecast. You just saw the reflectivity projected. So let's look and see, because I know everybody's asked about thunder snow. See if there's any there. There may be with some of that heavier stuff, but no, it does not look like it. And man, it could be too, though. They're right there, like about noon, because it's just composite reflectivity untyped. Yeah, man, about noon. I'm gonna be outside about noon, so I'm gonna take a break, and leave y'all to your thoughts and maybe some elevator music or something, and I'm gonna probably be outside right there. So I want to see if there's any. I want to see if there's any thunder snow because it's definitely on the list. All right, so normally again I don't use these because this assumes everything that's going to fall is going to fall at the exact rate it thinks it's going to fall. It's going to fall as snow, and it's going to be like exactly perfect 10-1, nothing else. Blah. I usually do something between these and the snow depth that we're going to talk about here in a second. So again, start it up. 3 a.m., 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So between 7 and 8 a.m., it looks like we could start seeing some accumulations. Folks there in Lewis County, Perry County, parts of Lawrence County, you may be seeing them earlier than that, but it looks like by 7 or 8 a.m., we should be seeing some pretty decent accumulations and then picking up pretty quickly on from there. By about 3.5 inches. It's what it's saying. Again, this is assuming like perfect scenario by lunch, and then again, pretty heavy rates. So by 7 p.m., 4.5 at least. Let's see, 10-1 ratio, same thing. Just showing about 6.1 inches. So again, these are where this between blah and blah comes from, and that's what it is. So this one's measuring 5.3, the other one was 6 something, and it was averaging out here basically. So snow depth takes into consideration like melting, sunshine, this, that, and the other, and see it's only giving us about a 3, which is why I say about that 3 to 5 is looking like it's a pretty just almost for sure solid bet. Bust, maybe it looks like it's still going to be 3 inches at this point to me. Good day, 5. Excellent is going to be them 7s, 8s, 9s if you're a snow person. Good news is, though, because nobody likes this junk, some models are favoring just a very touch of ice, but it's all over the place. It's spotty, it's down here, it's up here, it's there, it's blah, 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 blah. But just looking at everything, again, these are your temp lines and everything, melting layer, freezing layer, and it's looking pretty marginal. And it's showing that it could be the freezing rain there, but it's... yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, if it does, it's going to be relatively light. You can just see kind of as I'm hovering now, 0.6, 0.7, 0.9. So pretty minor, if any, but some of them are trying to trend up 0.5, 0.4. So mainly in the south of Murray County. And it's been on an upward trend. Let's look at the 2 Zulu. So 2 hours later, not there yet. So, yeah, I've only got 18 on that one. To the euros. All right. So 10-1. We're just going to talk totals on these. I'm not really going to go through step by step because the timing's all about the same. About 5.5 on the euro for Muletown area. 6 areas of high 5s on the Kuchera. Snow depth again, which is a more realistic melting included. Yada, yada, yada. High 3s or 4. Not bad. And again, y'all, if I'm going fast, pause it or something, or you can go back and watch it again or whatever. Again, this is for mainly just the nerdy folks or whatever. So think fast. Yeah, I saw the mesoscale Boppy. Sorry, I've just got my text open to a different screen. GFS is still running the 0 Zulu. Icon's done, it looks like. Yep. About 2 on the snow depth, which again is the conservative one. 4-4 on the Kuchera ratio, and then again about the same 4.25 on the 10-1. We can look at some of the 18 Zulu. It's just older stuff. UK Met. Actually, I was surprised by this. The UK model, which is kind of snobby on snow, is actually showing us at about a 6.5, 7 on the 10-1, and the high 5, 6 on the Kuchera. So I was actually surprised on that because it's usually historically pretty snobby on the snow for us. And NATO budget. That's another story. EPS Euro model again. This one's our numeric probability. So we'll do the ice real quick. So probability of 1/10 of an inch of ice. You see it just kind of zooms by us there. Pretty much nothing on the Euro on this. I think it was just mainly the NAM that was throwing that out there, and a little bit on the HRRR now. But that's been a mostly recent development on the HRRR. Appreciate that, big money. Get to y'all again. I'll swing back through the comment section. Promise made it. Snow depth. Again, this realistic measurements, 3 to 4s. This one's like the 10th percentile versus like 90th percentile. So this is how they get the betweens that you hear. They're like, oh, between nothing and 6 inches. This is how. So 3 to 4, really solid bet. Really put money on it almost. Again, can't be meteorologically sure of anything, but it's looking real good. 10-1 average, 5s and 6s for most of the Columbia-Murray County area. Again, there's no point to even just like fast forward through this. So pretty much 100% chance it's saying that's the supercomputer, not me. Don't blame it if it's wrong. Saying over an inch, and then over 4 inches. Again, you say pretty. It's saying there's a stellar chance. If you live in Mount Pleasant, hundo. If you live in Columbia, 98. Spring Hill, maybe 92. So there's some wiggle room there, but it's looking like it's coming, according to the EPS model. So, GEFS long range climate type thing model. Snow depth mean, again, optimistic one, or excuse me, middle of the road realist one. High 4s, maybe, just depending on where you are, low 4s. Low and high, 2 to 7. I think the 2 is going to be pretty well unfounded, but the 7 is possible, folks. 10-1 mean. Whoa, wait, I went too far. Sorry. Yeah, high 5s or 6s. Yeah, and again, pretty much sure on the greater than 1, and greater than 4s looking pretty good, about 75%, just depending on where it is. A good high 60s to 75%. Northern Murray County is a little bit less, but I think most of that's going to prove to be about right. Icon, yeah, doesn't have it. It's, I think, mock reps. Yeah. Da-da-da. There we go. Yep, 100%, pretty much at an inch. And then I think this one was, yeah, pretty bullish as well too. Hundo, for all of Murray County, pretty much, just except they're maybe the very tippy top of Northwest Santa Fe. But pretty much everybody else, 100% chance, and it's looking like 5s, high 5s to 6 overall. So that's where all of this is coming from, folks. This is the NWS blend. It's usually pretty conservative, and it's still saying about 5s and 6s. Ice, I mean, just a trace. So overall, that's definitely good news. again, don't expect any widespread power outages. There's always stuff here and there's. Been looking at this a while. It looks really good. Forecast confidence is high coming from the NWS. The folks way smarter than me that I trust on socials. Stuff like that. But it can be bad. There, because I looked it up earlier. I wondered, it's one of those just things that you go, huh? There's 1,300 people every year that die from winter storms, cold related stuff, snowfall, icicles falling off garages, vehicle accidents in the snow, slipping and falling on the ice, whatever. So, I mean, you break it down, it's, a couple people a week. So definitely be careful. If you are using those alternate heat sources, wood furnace, generators, space heaters, whatever, be careful with those. Make sure you're doing your electrical safety, your combustion safety, all that fun stuff. Check on your peeps, old folks, sick folks, shut-ins, whatever you want to call them. Make sure they're all right and they got everything they need. Definitely let us know what you're seeing when Friday rolls around as far as the precip goes. If you're seeing some funny stuff mixing in there, definitely let us know. Let us know where you are. Give us like a neighborhood or a cross street or something. GPS coordinates gets a gold star. Other than that, I think that's all I got. Let me hop back into the comments one more time. Make sure I got everybody. And again, if you got some questions, comments, concerns, spontaneous utterances, admissions of guilt, anything else like that, speak now. Or you probably have to hold your peace at least until later on until I post a model. Melissa Foster, appreciate that big money. Hope all your people are okay as well too in California. See your last comment just now. Been thinking about y'all. That's some bad, horrible stuff out there. Bad, horrible stuff. Didn't have anything to do with politics. I wish I had better government out there. And that's completely non-red or blue, purple, or anything else. Y'all's government sucked out there. Don't get me wrong, Tennessee's has got its flaws too. Picking on anybody, but that just... Because I've studied fire weather, because it's part of the WS and everything, and I know, and this stuff, and it irritates me. Because it's going to happen, but it's preventable at the same time, too. JC says, what time do you think it's to start? Yeah, I think a good 3 to 6 a.m. is a solid bet, probably to see accumulation shortly thereafter, because those rates are going to be pretty high, especially on after like 8, 10 a.m. I'd say probably 8 or 9 a.m. It's going to get pretty hard. No significant ice amounts. Probably, yeah, a good decent 3 to 7 is a good bet. I'd say 3 to 5 is almost surety as I can be in meteorological terms. Mesoscale discussion. Yeah, no, I'm working on it, Boppy. I'm doing my 811 thing still. I opened my Safari page, saw the models, and then forgot what I was doing. SPC mesoscale discussion. I don't see any valid discussions. Did you text it to me? No. Yes. Oh, that's why, because it was issued at 5:30. Nice. Arkansas 1 inch plus rates per hour. Sure enough. Awesome. Yeah, not for us folks, just a SPC product that Boppy was showing me, because it's the stuff that's going to be coming into Memphis and eventually here, but it's not here yet. Which reminds me, y'all forgot, not me, y'all forgot to remind me to go and look at the wider view. So let's have a look at that real quick. We can do it on GR, but I'm gonna have to swap because it only gives us like a certain amount of time, or like area at a time that I've got loaded in, because it's just basically centered on Nashville. So let's swap to, say, Arkansas real quick. Ignore the thing moving around. I'm not pointing at y'all or anything. I'm just moving stuff that y'all can't see. Little Rock. Is Fort Smith north or south of there? Ah, not what I wanted. All right, so you already see some results there. Let's swap to Little Rock, though. I couldn't remember which was which. Yeah, there we go. All right, yeah, they're already showing some reports. Yeah, 2.5 inches of snow there, too. 2.5, 4. All right, so yeah, great illustration here. So y'all see they're getting some of that pretty heavy snow. That is big old fat rain, but frozen. So there's definitely some pretty heavy looking stuff. So let's see. Yep, that's not mix, that's snow. There may be some right around in there, and then that looks like, yeah, it likely is, but yep. So, and again, this is just typed reflectivity, y'all. This is what it would normally look like if we were looking at a storm or just some real heavy rain, but when we apply our temps and melting layers and everything else to it, we pop out with this, your blues or snow, as indicated over here on the legend, which is kind of tricky because this kind of looks as some of the same color as the other, but once it gets into the higher snow, it looks kind of like this, and it's like that smushed Barney purple dinosaur color. But this type stuff is actually going to be your like freezing rain and then mix, which could be either snow or rain or freezing rain, which some of this could be right here on the edges, and then obviously rain and then moderately heavy rain. So a little bit of everything there going on. Let me download the last several sets of scans from this site and we'll throw it in motion and you can see what I'm talking about there. And let me slow it down for you. Come on. Just want to be real touchy. There we go. So you can kind of see how that's moving off there to the northeast-ish, northeast. Again, I mean, it's moving pretty much northeast. And this is going to be the stuff that's sliding into our area later on because we're right there for my geographically challenged folks. You can kind of see the Doug face shape. You'll never unsee it again. Doug is Murray County, and again, I-65 right there, bang. So pretty decently heavy rates of snow coming down. Not really anything cool 3D wise we can look at this. Well, we can slice horizontal like pieces out of this and kind of look and see if like there's a melting layer right here and stuff. Yeah, it's not gonna do it because I don't have the same thing applied here to the volume explorer. We can kind of like look back and forth and stuff like this at it, kind of like looking through all the horizontal slices laid next to each other. Because again, dual pole is all Department of Defense technology. It's the same thing that the Navy uses to shoot down Iranian ballistic missiles. So it's really cool stuff, and it scans horizontally and applies that and stacks it, and it's neat. But again, I do have lightning on right now, and I don't see any, so that is slightly discouraging. But it's nighttime, so I mean that can have an impact sometimes too with this stuff, because thunder snow is pretty rare overall. It can happen for sure, but snow barely happens in Tennessee, and I've never seen it. So let me have a look at them last comments, because I think we're pretty well caught up, but I see a couple more coming in. Deborah, I was just saying about Santa Fe. There was just that one particular model was looking like the accumulations were going to be like everybody at 6, but Santa Fe at 5.
Can I give you a hug?
No. Oh, jeez. When is it estimated to hit? I feel like that dude on BBC now is. Oh, come here. When is it estimated to hit? Says Allison. Boyfriend has to drive to Franklin in the morning. Will potentially be lit out of work early noon hours. Yeah, this is Memphis. So, right now Memphis is right here with the loop. I know it's not labeled. I have the map set up a little bit differently when we're not looking at our own home area. But yeah, Little Rock right there, and then Memphis, Tupelo, and then Nashville, Murray, just for the reference there. Yeah, definitely keep everybody in your mind. It's going to be in the roads tomorrow that has to be out. If you don't have to be out, don't. Get your stuff tonight. Go do it right now. JC, we're not going to be like on 24/7. Somebody's going to be here at the page, iPad in hand, phone in hand, sitting here in our studio, which I'll show y'all what it looks like here in a minute. I probably need to clean my desk off a little bit. But we had a great crowdsourcing thing a couple years ago because we had a tornado on the ground very close, and I tried to go live, and my little laptop that I'd had forever that I used to storm chase with and throw on dashboards and mistreat for years finally died in the middle of this tornado. And very, very, very nice angel person follower that I went to high school with started us a GoFundMe, and we were able to get some new software and stuff and all sorts of new stuff to just kind of help out with the hobby and stuff like that. So it's been great. It's been absolutely amazing. Show y'all a picture of it. Hell, y'all paid for it. Might as well. Yes, Angela, Angela, Boppy is ready for snow. I hope I said that right. Angelia, excuse me. Nice name. That is an awesome name. Definitely wanted to make sure I didn't mess that up. Yeah, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible in California. I've seen videos and stuff that I will not share here. Another one of my hobbies is I follow just what's called OSINT, Open Source Intelligence. Long time A1, Day 1 top fan badge. People know anything from conflicts to worldwide weather, stuff like that. Goings, happenings, technology. Never been a big conspiracy person, but some of that stuff's true. And stuff like that. And I do a lot of that stuff on X. If you want to follow, at orange and white with a 0 as the O. Do a lot of conflict stuff, but it's uncensored, so beware. Like, there's some stuff on there from Russia and Ukraine that's. But yeah, I've seen stuff that's never gonna leave me, and seeing grown men like flop down on the sidewalk and smooch a drowned, half alive cat, and that be their entire world and just come apart. And man, that stuff sticks with you. I don't care who you are, grown man, cry, like, especially like that gets you. People having to let their horses go and stuff, business or not. I mean, those are your animals, that's it's your family. That's rough. I couldn't imagine like having to let my dogs go or wondering if they were being like actively cooked alive inside my house. So enough about that. I've had enough of that crap this week. Lord. Yeah, I did see the Florida hurricane dude in Nashville. Boppy, correct me if I'm wrong, or anybody else in the chat. I can't remember if it was him or not. Sorry, I'm not muting it again. Woo. The Weather Channel, came and were broadcasting one time back in the 00s from like West 7th, right there at Garden, I think. Right near Bank of America or Old Tennessee Bank, Church, Murray, Visitors, and like they were somewhere like right around in there. I swear I remember seeing them, because Channel 4 or Fox 17 or somebody was out there too. Swear I remember that because I looked up and I was like, Clemmy, Tennessee, and almost drove out there because I was like, still, well, I say still, less, so still stupid. And then in like 16, 17, something like that. So it had to have been like 03, 4, 5, 2, 6, somewhere around there. So somebody get on that. I think it was somewhere around then. I'm almost positive because we wanted to go down there and see if we could get on TV. Yeah, one in '93. It wasn't that long ago because I don't remember much of the meteorological stuff on that one. I remember like the impacts from the trees and the ice and like the transformers cooking off and stuff. Misty, we don't actually cover Overton County. It's a little outside of our area. We usually cover most everything that's contiguous to Murray. But that having been said, most all of the Middle Tennessee area is looking pretty good on that 3 to 5 kind of thing. As far as the accumulations go, pockets of more than that, and maybe some even like more than 8s. But yeah, technically y'all are under, I was just making sure, looking at their map, y'all are under the Weather Service office in, oh man, I just drew a blank, Morristown. Woo! That's never happened in the history of ever. For the Knoxville area, it's under WFO Morristown. I don't stay as plugged into them, but I have seen some stuff on X just in passing, because a lot of the neighboring WFOs will share each other's stuff, like Nashville, Memphis, Knoxville, and actually a couple of counties in the southern part of Middle Tennessee or in Alabama's WFO. They all share each other's stuff a lot on Twitter. Let me see. I think I had one somewhere that I had just seen, and maybe even retweeted recently, because it was, again, some heading this way type stuff. Okay, yeah, so arrival times over there for y'all are going to be a couple hours behind us, probably somewhere between 8 and 12. And the accumulations are going to depend on the altitude, like it always does. But about the same, 4 to 6s with isolated, like 8s or better. So pretty much same story over there. Most of Middle Tennessee's looking like it because we actually got our times and temps and moisture to line up just right enough to, I think, where it's going to pull it off, with it being mostly all snow. Because like I said, and like we were talking about earlier, the 10-to-1 ratio being so delicate as it is, if we get, a little bit of that precip that's turned into freezing rain or ice, if it's, a bloops of an inch of ice, that's a decent bit of snow. So 1 inch of rain, 10 inches of snow. If you, take a 100th of that away, it's a decent chunk of snow. So, I say decent in our terms. Most people, when we say, like 3 to 4, 4 to 8, you can't tell the the difference perceptibly with your eyeball between 3 and 7 across an even plane of nice deep snow, and it's not gonna matter anyway, because it's more than enough to start screwing up stuff with the vehicles and the travel and yada yada. So doesn't matter. So try not to get too twisted up on that. It's going to be plenty of snow to sled in. Going to be plenty of snow to snowman. It looks like it's going to be good sledding in snowman snow because it's going to be nice and wet and packy. Shouldn't blow around. Shouldn't be any visibility issues unless you're in a really heavy pocket of that, like coming down heavy snow. Because these are probably going to be those like normal old Tennessee when we get it snow where it's like them like $50 silver dollar flakes, and it's gonna be gorgeous. So get ready. Hope everybody's off. I really do. I know the folks that have to be out there in it. I've done it, man. I've done it. I've been the essential personnel. I'm only slightly essential now, thank God. But I've done it. I've gone and done the Wii U's in the snow and gone and gotten people out of the ditch. And yeah, I feel you. I feel you. So, take care of yourselves. If you not those at home folks, if you are out in there, take care of yourself. While you're taking care of everybody else, or just trying to take care of the fam, go and get that dollar. So, dollar ain't worth your life. Just use your head. If you get halfway there and can't get there, turn around. You know, you got to FaceTime your boss and be like, how about you come get me then? You know, just that's some novel stuff I would do. Again, tell them it's Cap Motors. I'll write you a note. We both might get fired, but not even work there. We both might get fired, but that's all right too. I'll get fired with you. Bill's waiting in bated breath in Bethpage. Yeah, y'all always get it on the Cumberland Plateau. We don't feel sorry for Plateau, and it's like, oh, it's gonna snow up here. Like it just snowed up there like a week ago, or last time, or we never get it. Lindsay's got a great question. How quickly will the snow accumulate? It's going to be pretty quick. Let's take it back to the model. This again is like a heat map, like most things we look at. And when I say heat map, folks, like the brighter or darker or whatever the color, just according to the scale, is the intensity of the precip. So starting out here again, 8 p.m. Timestamps right up there at the top left. This starts rolling through, and those darker blues in there, like that are coming through Memphis and right there around Tupelo, Florence, all of that stuff, and that really dark pink right there, like the squished Barney we were talking about a minute ago. That's still snow, and that's going to be some heavy stuff coming through there about noon to 3 to 5. And then again, may see that little mixy stuff coming in there, maybe from about 5p to 7p. And then exiting on out the area. So that's going to be some pretty heavy rates. We can take it all the way back. Again, just to illustrate this point, because this is one of the ones I want to illustrate. Let's take it back into our screen share and our models here. Not brought to you by Pivotal Weather, but it should be. Go back to the HRRR. I don't think we looked at NAM either earlier. We'll do that here in just a second, because it was one of the ones that was showing the ice. So if there's, I guess, a good way to illustrate it, that's going to be it. So, all right. Reflectivity typed. Okay, yeah. So here we go. We'll skip to 5 a.m. Oh, no, we won't. Just kidding. All right, so 2 a.m., 3, 4, 5. So you can see it's starting, we'll say, quote unquote, in Murray County, because it's right there in Mount Pleasant, Williamsport, maybe Kellyoka, just depending on if that's liquid or not. Light blues, and it's kind of a gradient kind of going uphill and here into the North Carolina blue, and to the ocean on a map blue, and to the, I don't even know what color this is, blue, darker blue. And again, it's you can't see it here because I'm trying to keep it zoomed in for y'all, but it's all on the scale down here, is what that is. So 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Again, go to work time, pretty heavy rates throughout the day. It's pretty heavy snow running right there. Coming up from the southwest. And then right here, 1 p.m., like noon, 1 p.m. That's pretty heavy right there, like around Summertown, but that's like on up the scale. That might be showing sleet. It's hard to tell in some of these because they're so daggum close. So that's the tricky part, because if it is sleet or like some other type more intense precip, it has a more intense return, which is also like more intense snow. So it's a tricky part, as it kind of is like and throws this at it. But we have ways of telling, again, with algorithms like hydrometeor classification and the correlation coefficient that we talked about. It studies how similar objects are. 2 p.m., still same stuff. 3 p.m., still same stuff. So getting into the coming home time, getting off work time, same story. 6 p.m., hopefully starting to slack off, but that's, again, we may see for sure that's saying that's freezing rain on the back end, which I don't get unless it's just warm air trying to follow this. I haven't looked at maybe yeah, it's just on the edge of that low is what that is. It's reacting to that. Crap. But yeah, clearing out hopefully about a little after dark 30, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. And then again for East Tennessee, that should be cleared out between about like 10 midnight or so. We'll show maybe 2 for the most eastern parts, but that's the story. And again, projected snowfall just with a more moderate one from this one. Just depending on where you are, 4 or 5 episodes of 6 conservatively, and then the up to 6, high 6s. To high 5s, 6s. So that's what my model's saying. This is, again, I like it a lot for storms, convective weather, because it is convection allowing when things start to interact, especially with multiple things, because, again, this is part of like 2 systems that's coming through right now. And that other system to our north is helping us out a little bit, like a guardrail there, if nothing else, holding this down. So see it kind of up there. And then this moves through, and that low tracks like it's supposed to. Well, hold on. You still really can't. Oh, Conus. Oh, man, I can't use the controls now. What's it? There we go. I think I can mostly use it. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, you can see this low tracks far enough south, far enough south to where that warm Gulf moisture, this looks exactly like a QLCS, like a squall line like we're normally used to seeing. It's just down there in the Gulf of America. And it keeps that mix maybe right there around the state line, maybe a little towards us, because this low is there. Back up a little bit. Or excuse me, this high stays over here, kind of in the way to help block that off. And then apparently they were calling like this a separate winter storm or whatever with this other low up here. I guess it's been influenced by it. So that is the story, folks. That's about all I got. For now, anyway. I'm sure I'll have plenty of more. We will be on, not just like 24/7 continuing coverage. I don't know that I have enough to sit here and talk about 24/7. I would love to. I mean, maybe we'll be like the next 24/7 news weather thing or whatever, like the Weather Channel, but with style and not a stick in their butt. Did I say that on Facebook? Oh well. But yeah. I don't think I have that much to talk about, and I'll bore y'all. Y'all be falling out of your chairs, and I will be too. I have very little fanny, so I have to get up. I'm sitting on like bone on bone, so got to get up, get the feeling back in my legs. So, but yeah, about all I got, folks. Don't want to waste y'all's valuable time. We will be on and off, mostly on behind the scenes, but there will be somebody at the page 24/7 pretty much. So definitely let us know what you're seeing. Keep an eye out for those updates as new and interesting and exciting model runs and things like that come in. We'll share those as we go. And we did the prep stuff. We did the nerdy stuff. We went over the basics. Went over the timing. Just trying to make sure that's it. I may again just like leave some radar up, and I'll put on my little icon up here to let y'all know, like, hey, I'm not here, or whatever, and throw up like a be right back or a no audio or something like that, or have my stuff swapped up or something. So. Because usually, like, if my little tag is here, I'm here. So I usually try to have one or the other, either like the no audio or the be right back or something. Usually when I try to do video, I try to leave it over here, and then audio only. I try to throw it on the other side just because it's less in the way, I guess. But regardless, there'll be somebody here on the end of the page, on the end of the line, because that's our thing. That's what we do. Semper Paratus, Semper Adest. Still working on that headache. Whew. Always ready. Always there. Or always present. Just depending on your Latin translation. But yeah. We always here. Have no fear. Devin wants to know the straight cut to the cheese question. I have to be at work at 3 p.m. in Franklin. How screwed am I? Leave early. Maybe take snacks. Definitely have a full tank of gas. Pretty, yeah. Pretty. I wouldn't say like lipstick pretty, but fairly pretty screwed. Yeah, I'd say even if the roads aren't bad, because they're doing salting and TDOT's doing the things. Again, we got TDOT people on the page, you know, not knocking y'all at all. Not. Don't take it that wrong way. I think some of the rates could just be that bad to where, I mean, there's bunches of people on the interstate, more dodos and like small space, and visibility may be an issue because bright lights don't help you and stuff like that. Obviously, it makes it worse. But just that within itself, it may overwhelm your windshield wipers or your spray melty stuff or whatever, and that within itself could be a problem. Wait, did I age moderate this? Okay, now we're good. Don't do things like that, kids. Have to look first. Don't want to get demonetized now. Profanity filter set to medium. You can say some bad words, but not the big ones. We had a major ice storm in 93 and 94. We got a double whammy. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Chase, we were looking at some other stuff. Chase is just tuning in. Somebody had asked kind of like what was the stuff on the way, and this is actually Arkansas. So yeah, let me throw a spec up here. There we go. Nothing doing in the good old Columbia right now. There's a little bit of moisture that's trying to been hiding here and there out there. You'll see some kind of pop up and flake up here and there. But that's been about it. Not much going on. Absolutely dry. Not a thing going down in Columbia. And speaking of which, we can show that up there too. That's easy. 29 degrees, just a little bit over in Muletown. No wind at the moment, so that's a good thing. It's been pretty light today. Dew point 16, 29.96 on the barometer. No measurable precip. and a low of about 25, 26. So we're not too far away from that mark. It doesn't sound like so. But yeah, good stuff. It's going to accumulate quickly on the snow, and yeah, it's everybody is saying, like, government wise, like all the people that it's jobs to say stuff like that. And I mean, I get that part. And again, it's not an order. Like, nobody's under, like, they could declare a state of emergency, but that's just more for the state and the resources and like their side of things to grease the wheels. In law, it's law says once you do this, it's automatic as far as the declarations and stuff. But you can do whatever you want. Go out and plan it. You know, don't sit at home, watch movies, drink hot chocolate, go sledding in the front yard, whatever. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but parts of that may be sketchy, yeah. And that's usually when I would go out, even when I was doing the Wii U's or not, or now. I've had to drive in every weather condition imaginable just from doing this and would be in the Wii U's and being a good friend sometimes, just that people can call when things are really bad and it just hit the fan. I guess I come to mind for several people, which was it's I've got like 4 friends of my entire life, but they were all really good ones. Going to like get people out of the ditch, or my mom's dog got knocked unconscious and we thought she was dead, like in the middle of an ice storm like 2-3 years ago, in the middle of Miss Cap having surgery, in the middle of my mom having to stay at my house and my dad being at their house, and I had to whip her back over there real quick and then get us to the emergency vet sideways, and it was fun. But again, I mean, used to doing Wii U's and going to people who are like, you know, like actually hurt, need help, trying to, you know, make sure, hey, I need to get here quickly, as quick as I can, but I have to get there in one piece to be able to be of any good. So between that and driving in microbursts, that's probably the most scared I've ever been in my life. It's not a tornado, it's not snow. I've seen big both. The most scared I've ever been in my life was in a daggone microburst where a thunderstorm collapsed on us, and we were going eastbound on Highway 64, and when whatever that was stopped, we were going westbound. I don't know how. I have no idea. I couldn't see the end of the hood of that fluorescent yellow truck, and there was just about a Hershey stain in my britches. Gabby, great question. Melting into freezing. Yes, there's going to be lots of melting into freezing. It's going to get just warm enough Saturday, Sunday, probably to cause some melting. Some areas may not get above freezing, but it looks like most areas will. Call it like mid-30s, maybe some uppers. And there's going to be some decent sun. Our best chance for the sunshine is going to be Sunday, Monday, according to the NWS briefing they just had. And there is going to be some melting. But the problem is, like you mentioned, there's going to be some refreezing. So you're going to be looking at lows in the 20s, I think, and there's going to be some teens into the early part of next week. So yeah, those travel concerns could potentially even extend into next week with some of like the back roads, side streets, and any like black ice refreezing, stuff like that. So excellent question. Pretty much if you got to go to work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whatever, early in the morning, if it looks like it's wet, it's ice, don't treat it as anything else, and just be suspicious of that and discerning. So, and bridges, definitely be careful on the bridges as well too, because they ice first. We discussed that earlier. Again, go back and rewind. There's some prep stuff in there, the what to do's, all that stuff. Don't want to be preachy to y'all. Again, just here because of the weird hobby, and we like to help. All of us are public servants or some kind of something like that at one point. Myself, Boppy, my stepdad, all worked in either fire, law enforcement, 911, public safety, or both. Mrs. C as a nurse, medical director
for another government agency, and yeah, so all of us that have helped or have ever helped here have been other than Jeremy, Mr. Baker. Appreciate you too, sir. I think, yeah, other than, and I think he used to do something like that. But yeah, the folks that helped me get everything started were all like firefighters, police, EMT, like that's all of us, because it's that type of personality. So what till we do. All right, folks. I think it's about it. So again, I'm not gonna hold y'all up. Not gonna do like the 27 or 24/7, like continuing coverage on this, because again, I don't think I got 24 hours worth of stuff to talk about. And Facebook's got this stupid rule apparently about looping video, which Radar looks really similar to, unfortunately, and us not getting credit for it. So I don't know what kind of percentage I got to get on there of my mug versus map to not qualify as looping or static or whatever. But anyway, it doesn't help us out as much, and it doesn't convey anything to y'all unless we do leave the radar running. I may fire it up once it starts to get here, but once it starts to get here, I'm honestly probably going to go back live again. So I plan on seeing y'all early this morning. Put your phone in sleep mode if you don't want that notification, because it's probably going to come early and probably about 3 or 4 o'clock. So going to take myself to bed here as soon as I can, and hopefully as quick as I can, and get a little power nap in. But plan on seeing y'all early. We do need to go ahead. I've got the files sitting on the computer, and I've just been sitting here and just, again, making too many excuses. Going to be my New Year's resolution. We're going to start looking to do some new and exciting and bold things. We're going to take on some advertising partners, not anything gaudy or interruptive to y'all, but something that kind of just really opens us up to be able to expand things, make things look more professional here. Maybe do some different things to the studio, promote some local businesses at the same time, and just bring y'all a better experience and get the word out. That's what it's all about, folks. So it is fun. Don't get me wrong, I'm having a blast when I do this. Wouldn't be lying to you if I did. I'm sitting in like a little cool command center that every 9-year-old geek that likes computers and weather could ever dream of. So I even got green lights on my desk that you could change colors with a remote because it came with a desk. I did buy the cheapest one I was fine, because I'm conservative with y'all's money. But the experience has been cool. I wouldn't trade it for anything, y'all. It's been absolutely great. So other than that, I'm gonna let y'all go. Stay tuned. I'll try again not to just blow y'all up, because I know y'all are tired of things too. But it's almost here. It's almost a fun time. Now it's just all pictures and snow cream and hopefully movies and Netflix, which she loves. Fuzzy, warm, soft things, maybe fireplaces and hot cocoa. Looking forward to it. Whenever I'm not talking to y'all, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Unfortunately, Miss C will not be here. She's got to work more than likely. Again, just being a responsible, bossy type director person, and just, again, being in the necessary crowd of folks. She'll probably have to work, but definitely spend some time with kiddos and Mr. Bump Noggin. So let the love on him a little extra. See what let him pick what he wants to watch maybe first. So other than that, folks, that's all I got. Y'all stay frosty, stay warm, and do your best to not try to get out. And if you do, don't drive like an asshat. Y'all keep an eye on it. I love this part.